Hello, welcome back to our Magabook training time. Today's topic will be obstructions. Things that go our way when we go canvassing and are not the best we want to see. But how do we deal with this? And we'll talk about no soliciting signs, no trespassing signs, and dogs on guard. What do we do when there is a sign no soliciting? Are we supposed to ignore it? Are we supposed to respect it and go away? What would you do? Yes, no, maybe, or how to do it? So there's a difference between a sign no soliciting on a house and in front of the neighborhood. If there is a sign on a house that says no soliciting, it does not always mean that a person really doesn't want to see you. In many cases, it was the previous owner of the house that put the sticker on it. And when the house was sold, the new owner looked at it and said, I will keep it on. Instead of just peeling it off and dealing with the glue or residue right there, I just keep it on. But the new owner doesn't really mind as much, if you really come and are polite and respectful. So it's not such a big deal. But if there's a sign really that says no soliciting, no religious, no this and that, none of that, and you really see it on that door very visibly, then I would probably respect it. I would come and say, okay, these people may really be disturbed really much if they don't want to see anybody at the door. And I would leave a glow track or something like that at the door and have a blessing and just leave. If I would come to a door, ring the bell or knock on the door, then make a step back, look, and then saw a sign then of, hey, what do? I don't run away. People come very often. I approach them, talk to them, they look at the books and make a deal, pray and leave. And then I'm leaving and then I remember, oh, there was a sign. Many times people don't really mind about the sign right there, or they really don't like to see the door-to-door salesman that show this nice vacuum cleaner discounted from $3,000 to only $955. But when they see a missionary, they're actually pleased with your hard work and they reward you for that. So it's hard to say whether to really ignore it or not at all. I would really ask you to use your judgment and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, really. Knock on the door, and if they open the door actually and say, listen, there's a sign, there's no soliciting, my response is, sir, I'm just a missionary. I'm doing something very important. I did not want to skip you because you're an important person. If they say, I still don't want you here, that's okay, sir. Have a good day, and I will turn around and respectfully leave. People will like when you tell them that they are important, you do not want to skip them, but still respect, and with a nice, polite response, just walk away. That's it. Nothing else, nothing worse can happen to you, seriously. So that's the one thing if there's no soliciting sign on a house. If there's a no soliciting sign in front of the neighborhood, that's a little different story. Because there's agreement of all the people that live in that neighborhood that they don't really want to see anybody in that neighborhood knocking on the door. And the leader should respect that sign and do not enter. God will make sure that those people will be reached some other way, or he will try to find another means to touch their hearts. What if there's no trespassing sign on the front of the property? Let's say there's a house, a couple of trees, and there's a sign on one tree, no trespassing, and another tree also has a sign, no trespassing. Don't go there, because you are really risking right here a little more than just rejection at the door. You're probably risking dogs that are there not to just play with, but really dogs to scare you. And if there's no trespassing sign, the whole property, the driveway, the place in between the trees, up to the door is being protected. Who knows by what? And honestly, from experience, I've seen very interesting individuals in those kind of houses. So many times there's not much to lose really if you respect and really walk away from that property. I would still leave a glow track or some material that you have for free right there next to mailbox, or if there is any place to put it, and just walk away, because you might be really risking some dog bites right there though. But what if there's assigned dogs on guard, or my dog will be at the gate within a second or so on? So here's the situation. You may have a house that has a fence around. So what do? Shake the fence a little bit to wake up the dog in case the dog is not still, right there in front of you. Shake the fence, and if the dog will hear it, he will come and you will see how serious deal it is. It may be a little toy dog, or let me call it a little cute, nice dog, but the people still just want to scare people, from the fence, so they put this sign in the front. But if a big, huge dog will really come and run and start barking, don't risk your safety, because we want you to be safe and be willing and be available to knock on next street, okay, and next houses, okay. We don't need to take you to hospital immediately. So if this is really risky, stay away from that fence, leave a glow track, or try to ring the bell if there's a bell, or just how if there's somebody from the house to see you. If nobody comes, you just have to go. Let's say there is a house that has no fence and there's no sign, and you keep going towards the house, and then you approach the door, knock on the door, and you will hear a dog barking behind the door. 2-3 dogs maybe jumping, barking, and you may feel scared. Probably you don't like dogs much. Don't panic, please. Don't worry, because the owner knows what to do with those dogs. And when the door opens, just pray that God will protect you, nothing bad will happen. And we really don't have bad experiences from those situations when the dogs are inside. They usually put the dogs behind doors, behind, in some room. Then they open the front door and talk to you. If you're at the door and some random dog or a dog that was on the backyard started running around and come to you, first thing, if you're scared and you think the dog is really big that can harm you, first thing you do is you take your canvassing bag that you have on your shoulder and place it in front of your legs, because the dog will not jump in the air and try to hit your neck or your shoulder. The dog will try to bite your toes, your foot. So protect your feet and face the dog. Don't show your back on the dog, because you have no control of what is going on. You don't know how close, how far the dog is, or what the dog is doing. So face the dog, put your canvassing bag in front of your feet, and call for help. Hello, is anybody home? There's a dog right here. Is anybody home, please? Knock on the door, ring the bell, and if nobody opens, then slowly back up from the property, still facing the dog. Back up, slowly. The dog really understands this language. He knows that you're respecting his property and you understood the message and you are walking away, and he also understands it and he's happy. His goal is to protect the property and get you out from the area. So that's the best you can do. In case you are blocked by, let's say, 2 dogs on the right side, on the left side, nobody home, nobody opens, you don't know what to do, still protect your feet with the canvassing bag. And if you're trying to leave, but the dogs don't let you to leave the property, your only option and your last option would be to reach some small rocks. Please, not huge, not bricks, okay? Small rocks, and show the dogs that you have to protect yourself. They also understand, because they cannot fight back. And try to throw the rock not towards the head of the dog, but towards the legs. to show the dog, listen, I can fight even stronger. You know it. But I'm just trying to protect myself. Let me go. And from my experience, it worked always. I have just 3 of those experiences in all of my years canvassing, but it was a solution because I was really blocked and there was no way of escape. So I did this, the dog understood, backed up pretty well so I could leave the property. So that's the situation with the dogs. Please also recognize that some dogs may look a little larger but are still puppies and they come to play. You can recognize when they are wiggling their tail and they are not barking much. They are just like coming down, coming close to you. They haven't learned the art of understanding what is play and what is protecting the area and what is really scaring others. So they are jumping around, but they might be still puppies. The main thing you understand is a puppy when the head is still big, large in comparison with the rest of the body of the dog. Okay? So that will help you. So don't freak out. Don't be worried if the dog runs to you, close to you, and it looks a decent size. It might be just a puppy that wants to play. That's it. Just walk away. If there's no way to go out, still you have your leader on your back. So pick up your radio, call Mobile One. Mobile One, there's Derek, and I need help with dogs. And the Mobile One will come and he will help you to get out of there. So we are there to bless the people. God is on our side. Don't forget that. His angels are walking with you. They are opening the way for you. Many times they help you also to push the dogs away so they don't see you, they don't hear you or so. Okay? But we still want to be on the safe side and making sure we don't put ourselves into unnecessary risk. Also, God is opening hearts of those that otherwise would not buy anything from anybody at the door. That's why they put the sign, no soliciting, on the door, because they always buy something. They always get convinced. But their spouse doesn't like it when the spouse comes home. So they say, let's put the sign on the door because you always buy something. And that's why, you should not be afraid because you knock on the door and there are people that just are buyers. You know what I mean? And when there's no trespassing, we have to respect that. So we are working as responsible Christians, and may God bless us in all these efforts. See you next time.